I'm sorry, I couldn't get the binoculars out in time.
Look, well, let's not stand on ceremony, mate. Let's start the show.
All right, my bad. Okay. How y'all been? How y'all been? Oh, y'all are actually looking at the wrong window. I just got all kind of issues going on tonight, don't I? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So, we did get the patch notes and the character already for the Electra uniform. Really weird fucking name. But yeah, not a whole lot of changes to speak of. It is 50% off. So if you wanted to take advantage of that, now instead of waiting, you can, if you so chose to, for whatever reason. Not sure how good the character is PvE or PvP wise. I don't think she moves the needle very much. I don't see any of the other content creators really making a big fuss about her, but she's only a couple of days old, so there may be some sort of niche hidden value there. She is rocking the speed type superhero. Still has the weapon master tag, but they didn't add the defenders tag. I was hoping to see that added to her. That would give her access to a few more support abilities that are niche for PvP, and it would make that team a little more thematic. It would actually hit harder if Daredevil were actually good as well, but he sucks, so why should Elektra be good, right? She retains 35-35 with the 33%. I think it's like a 2% bump or some shit like that. She's got the increased guaranteed dodge rate. I'm actually not looking at the game right now. And the increased critical rate by 20%, and then she gets the 40-35 skill damage bonus damage, which I do think was a substantial bump from the previous iteration. Interestingly, she still has the counterattack, she still has the iframe ignore on the 5, and then she also has a counterattack that gives iframe ignore. So even if the counterattack whiffs on the 2, it'll still function similar to Shang-Chi's tier 3 skill or Adam Warlock's second skill, that the debuff removal, the ignore targeting actually persists in her case for 3 seconds. So you can still get some ignore frame off on another skill, pass it along, that sort of thing. Not sure how hard the counterattack hits, but that is sort of promising that she can just sit back and, to a degree, chain together iframe ignore skills. And at first, I was really worried about this 9% heal every 3 seconds when hit. So there's only a 33% chance to activate, right? But she does have a heal on the 4 of 15%, and then another heal on the 5 of 15%. So that gives her 49% healing on the high end and 30% on the low end when the passive doesn't tick. And this thing actually ticks 3 times, so that's like another 24%. So that's 54% total HP healing over time, over a 3-second span, give or take. And depending on what all is and is not cancelable. So I thought that was kind of a good thing as well. But we're going to have to just get in there and check it out and see if she's going to be any good in PvE or PvP. The other thing too is I know the kit kind of screams PvP with all of the ignore iframe and the healing and stuff, but they did give her a 10-hit barrier, but they didn't give her a lot of damage reduction or otherwise things that she can protect herself with, or a revive or immortality or any of these other meta abilities that you kind of need in PvP to stay alive these days. She doesn't even have super armor built into her kit. So I'm really wondering, like, where is she going to stand out? If Spidey can't do it as a speed type, if, you know, all of these other characters that are designed to, with a lot more survivability in mind than Elektra has here. Now, granted, she does have some other abilities that Spidey does have. Invisibility, ignore targeting, but I think that with a 33% damage reduction, I don't think it's enough. I really don't think it's enough. I don't see any additional dodge built in. I don't see any giga dodge built in, and that's kind of bare bones. And it relies heavily on RNG, because if you don't dodge, you're going to get hit. And if you get hit, most likely she's not going to survive it. So yeah. Just one of those things that I thought I would point out. But I haven't had my chance to really get my hands on her yet. I do have the outfit, but I don't have the character at tier 3. And at tier 2, it is just way too hard to gauge anything. I am in the process of leveling her gears up though. But I ran a little short on gold. So yeah, I was working on some swords. So kind of burned through a lot of my gold. But that's okay. We already ran our multiverse invasion for the day, by the way. And we did get in a GBR run with Luna earlier as well. Other than that, I think my dailies are mostly untouched. I may have played Alliance Battle normal. But all of my world bosses should still be there. All of my timeline should still be there. All that sort of stuff. I got plenty of GBR runs. So let's go ahead and get it. But yeah, we're barreling to the anniversary. I think the speculation is gonna start pretty soon on what it could be. I would bank heavily that we're getting some sort of game mode. And maybe it's worth a look to go back to the last developer note, or the last couple, and see where they were versus where they'll be going in the years to come. I still don't think we're ready for Tier 5, but I didn't think we were ready for Tier 4. So, you know, it kind of remains to be seen if that's going to be a thing that's going to be getting introduced in the next 6 months to a year. I know a lot of people have been speculating about it. I mean, if Tier 5 is coming, then they definitely need to unthrottle they should do the same thing for Tier 3 that they did for Tier 2 back in the day, when they reduced the cost of all of those materials, all of those rolls that were like 10, 15, 20 Black Antimatter, 10, 15, 20 Chaos Norn Stones. They reduced the cost to 1. They should do something similar with the Tier 3 material and Awakened Crystal, but they should also do what they eventually did with all of the materials, is use the crafting shop to find a way to make those materials still viable for other use. I think that was something that it took them a while to figure out a way to execute. But the fact that the card crafting system is so tedious and so necessary to have a functioning, well-rounded roster, I think they should figure out a way to alleviate some of the burden of that a bit more. Because the RNG is just a killer in this game. And I think it's what causes a lot of players to quit playing, because you see what can be achieved and the fact that it's so difficult to not even get to the max, but it's such a grind. To where I know if players could more streamlined and easily get to the place where they could have things like Pierce in their kit, they would be more apt to stick around longer, because they'd be able to actually compete. That divide between free-to-plays and spenders has gotten so massive that even with the league, even with some of the leagues and the shit being divided down and broken down the way that it is, and the balancing issues, especially in game modes like PvP, where a lot of players want to go in and test their mettle with the rosters that they've built, they just can't compete. And I mean, I remember back in the day, before crafted cards before, you know, all of this other shit, where you could actually, with a decent roster and the right characters, you could actually get into a game mode like Timeline. And pull off a victory against a Hobo Spidey led team, or you know, something like that, a Gene team or a Quicksilver team when he was locking up the meta. So and even with the advent of Tier 3, if you played regularly, you built your roster, you could still compete. But with crafted cards and CTPs, and I mean, you could even compete against characters that had, or rosters that had premium cards back in the day. With the regular free to play friendly deck, you might not be as, you know, you may lose more than those guys, but you could still, you know, if you're going in there and you're winning 7 or 8 out of 10 of your matches, you're doing pretty damn good. And you could do that back in the day. Today, it's like, man, if you don't have the latest meta with the best uniform, with the crafted cards and CTPs and artifacts at such and such star level, it's impossible. So love the Tier 4 selector. It's probably not going to work on Tier 3 natives, but for a lot of players, it will give them the opportunity to get their first Tier 4 out of the way. And if they can farm the materials more easily with that one Tier 4, and, you know, going all in with their boost points, and you know, able to get that first clear for World Boss Legend to farm even more Tier 4 mats, I think it'll go a long way to helping them. And they'll have to stick with it. And it does take a certain level of dedication. And I think the older generation of gamers get into this game more because we're more apt to stick with a game and build our rosters and that sort of thing. So there is that element to the free-to-play side. But they got to make that jump from Tier 1 to level 80 a little bit easier. Because Tier 3 characters are only so viable. They're really not viable in GBR. You know, yeah, you can get you some solo Dormammu clears with Tier 3s, but most of those are going to be Tier 3 level 80. I don't think there is a Tier 3 level 70 in the game that can do it, especially without Pierce. So, you know, not solo anyway. So, whom do you choose in the tier 4 selector? I'm probably gonna wind up going with one of the OG Avengers. It depends on who they got in it, though, honestly. My money is probably gonna be on the OG Avengers. So Hulk, Spidey probably is gonna be in there. Cap, of course, Thor, Black Widow, um, Iron Man, you know, all of these guys. I want to go with someone who I'm gonna get the most value for using it. Sharon Rogers may be in there. And ironically, I may wound up, in order to get the most value out of it, I'll probably wound up having to use it on her. Because my Sharon isn't tier 4. She's not even level 80. So, you know, there's that. Plus, I don't have her seasonal uniform. So, probably not going to be my choice. But like I said, it depends who's in it. There aren't very many of the OG Avengers that I don't have at tier 4 or at least at level 80. My Cap is at level 80. My Thor is at level 80. I think my Widow is at level 70, so maybe there's an outside chance she gets it. But I really got to take a look at my roster. I'm really leaning towards, for PvE, it would be Thor. For PvP, it would be Cap. Because on those days when I catch all of those bans and I want to throw that zombie team in there, I kind of need Cap and Weapon Hex at tier 4. Now, if she's in there, she'll probably get it. Now, if it winds up being, you can tier 4, like if it's a tier 4 mega ticket or some shit like that, then I'm really gonna have to evaluate. Like if it's a mega ticket that works on every existing non-native tier 2 or higher character, so that would eliminate characters like Odin and Adam Warlock and all of them, right? So all of the natives, Wolverine, who I do have at tier 4, Deadpool, who I do have at tier 4, but you know, if that winds up being the case and those guys are eliminated, let me go refresh my cup. So say it winds up being a situation where the characters that are on the list are all of the existing 800 CCF tier 1 native characters that are capable of going to tier 4. If that's the list, I'm gonna have to take a hard look at my roster. Because then, you know, Gwenpool becomes a candidate. Who else? I don't know. It's a lot of tier 4s that are on my roster that I need to tier 4 that aren't. Well, I don't need them, but, you know, some that I would just like to have. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Whom do you? Okay, yeah, that's what you asked me about the tier 4 selector. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I gotta get a look and see who's part of that list. Reason why Thor is because I need a universal alien tier 4 other than Thanos. And preferably a hero, since I have a villain. Then I'll have to go back and build a universal alien tier 4. Because my Thanos is probably going to wind up going back to PvP. Especially considering that I just got another CTP at Conquest. And I have no idea who I'm going to put it on. When I get the other to make the Mighty, it's probably going to go on Thanos. I tested him with it. He seemed to work pretty damn good with it. It seems to be his best CTP. At least for my account. So, kind of where I'm at with that. I mean, but that's what my roster is looking like. So a lot of level 70s. I would most likely be looking at the characters that I have favorited. With the exception of the Black Order. I just plan on Awakening and or tier 4 in them maybe. But definitely going to tier 3 or Awaken with everybody. Not sure if I'm in a tier 4 Maul just yet. Warpath I have to Awaken for the team up collection. So that's why he's favorited. Invisible Woman for PvP, but she's not so bad in PvE either. The thing about Invisible Woman is I have to have Franklin's artifact. So, but with the movie coming around the corner and access to selectors and things of this nature being a little more attainable, that's probably going to be sooner rather than later. But other cats, like I said, she's native tier 3, so she may not really make that list. Black Panther, maybe an outside chance, maybe. Black Bolt is old and dated, but considering that Medusa is probably going to get a uniform sooner rather than later, I don't think she'll be like a one-off mid-month situation, so he could get something with her. And he still hits hard in that uniform. And if he winds up getting something that turns him back into a hero, Black Bolt, you'll have that duality of the hero villain flex with him. So said some of these other dumpster level tier 4s I'm probably not going to touch. Tier 4 support like Nick Fury is appealing. Not gonna lie. And it'll definitely help my roster. And the same can be said of Mystique. Plus, Mystique can actually hold down a day of ABX by herself at least. So there's that as well. So like I said, it really just depends on who all's in it and how they decide to go about it. I'm not really missing anybody. It would just be taking them to tier 4. So got Gwenpool and Gamora also would be nice. Human Torch would also be nice, but for the characters that I kind of need to have a tier 4, a Doc Ock would be another good one. But as far as like a necessity for my roster, what I would need the most would be either a universal villain. So as much as I hate to say it, that makes Loki a top pick, but I kind of don't want him. And then for PvP, if Hela was better, then maybe I would consider her. Unfortunately, she's not. But then if they wind up opening it up to tier 2 natives, that kind of changes a lot of the dynamic. So I mean, hell, I could consider Beta Ray Bill at that point, or a Gladiator, or any of those guys. And then the way I look at it too is if I wind up using it on a character that I want now, then I can build the characters that I need through materials, right? Like this joint here. This is where Gwenpool becomes important for my roster. Like, for me, I don't have to have a viable, I don't have to have the top meta. I just have to have a viable option. And I'm pretty good and satisfied. But if I don't even have a choice, yeah, I'm gonna kind of have a problem. And with speed, villain, and with speed, villain day, and with universal male and universal villain day for ABX, I really need options there. And I kind of like Gwenpool's kit, to be honest with you. I like her skill animations. I like the whole comic book third wall thing. Or third wall, fourth wall thing. I'm gonna get, oh, she actually held out long enough. Cool. Oh. I think right now As it stands, I can probably score 5 or 6 million. When I should really be at least 10 million on every day. With my build, right? Or with my cards, you know what I mean? But as it stands, I'm sorely lacking from not covering certain days of ABX with my roster build. Right, yeah, so we're at 6 million. So we'll probably do 6.4, maybe 5. Yeah. So wasn't very far off. Now, of course, I built my roster more with a PvP mindset than a ABX, PvE, anything sort of mindset. Wow, I thought I hit the 3rd skill, but okay. I cancel it too soon or something. Okay. Wait for it that time. All right. Wish he would get his ass out of this fucking corner. Okay. Finally. Right, here we go. Let's go back around the corner. Okay, did that too far away. Or he slid out of the damn way. Okay. Cool. Still cracked 6 early, but we got it. We honestly would have been had it if Serta didn't slide out of that range of my attack. When I did the 6 cancel 7. Still have a rift to open as well, so that's also pretty damn dope. Let's go ahead and make it a mythic rift. Whoa. See, we gotta do some world boss. Okay, we'll do that in a little bit. Nope, not Shadowland. Otherworld battle. Let's go ahead and get in here and knock out some stuff so we can farm some more tier 3 mats, tier 4 mats. Not tier 3 mats, tier 4 mats. I am glad that they added tier 4 materials to the new game modes, making them viable. I just wish they weren't all fucking autoplay. Zombie survival kind of isn't, if you're really wanting to be competitive in terms of your score, but yeah. Yeah, I wish though with that tier 4 selector, I wish we had a list. You know, I'm always of the mind frame that, because now people kind of have to stop tier 4 in characters and are just sitting on materials, right? Because you don't know who's gonna be in there. Okay. And I get it. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I would advise for other players to do the same. But with this whole tier 4 selector, now they did drop. Oh no, they didn't. Wow. The special reward transcends select. Wow, that's different. So they normally, so they dropped the D-Day event already, right? For the 10-year anniversary. So they started this. Looks like was this April 6th was when this went out. So the 10-year anniversary of Marvel Future Fight right around the corner. Please wait for exciting day together with us. Please wait for this exciting day together with us. So they got the check-in countdown starting on 4/7. So this thing is already running. Um, and right now, we should be getting these tomorrow, the 418, 419, day 10 stuff. Now, what's interesting about this is, well, one, they've added the artifact, a 4-star artifact to this thing, and a 1-star heroic emblem to this thing. Hopefully I can get the Spider-Man emblem out of there. That would be great. They've also added some, I'm not sure if these were in there last time, but they added some tier 4 mats, which is actually dope. They also added a tier 2 selector. Normal X-Men characters are included, so that's dope that they actually specified that. And then they actually added the 6-star selector. Well, they didn't add it, it's been in there, along with the 300X genes, and I think they took the bios out, which is dope. The X genes would actually be dope if they worked on all of the X-Men regardless, so at least folks can pick up a premium character or something like that. And then, because even if they gave away a premium character, one premium character a year or every 6 months or whatever, that's still not gonna equal up to the amount of premium characters that are in the game. And of those characters, how many of them are viable, right? But then you get to day 1, 427, 428 with the special reward here for the Transcend Selector. And normally when you go down here and you read these notes, it'll have in there what all character that this Transcend Selector works on. They don't have that this go round. So event rewards can be acquired through logging into the game between 1,500 and 1,459, 8 to 759 PDT each day. Please check the inbox. The special reward selector potential transcended character can be acquired during 427, 1,500 and 5/11 Sunday 1459 UTC. So make sure you check the inbox and use, they missed a space, the item before the expiration date. So yeah, they're just saying that you have to use the item before the expiration date for the potential Transcend Selector. But they don't have who all you can use this thing on. I'm assuming since it's well, it says selector, so maybe you can use it on anybody. Which if that's the case, that would be fucking dope. Instead of just giving us a list, which also means that the same thing is going to be true of the tier 3 selector, which would also be dope. And it doesn't say anything about not being able to use this thing on native characters. Now I think most of the native or all of the native characters in the game are tier 3. They don't go transcended. They go tier 3. So I mean, there are only so many, right? The Black Order, Apocalypse, Quicksilver, Cable, Scarlet Witch, all of the Epic Quest natives, and all of the Crystal Wall natives, right? Plus the native tier 3s, but we're not talking about them. And all of those guys the Adam Warlocks, well, Adam Warlock I think was the only native tier 2 Crystal Wall. I think all the rest of them were tier 1. Let's see, Dormammu and Odin, they're native, and they're not affiliated with nothing. They used to be, but they're not now. The Epic Quest characters, so that's gonna be Wolverine and Jean, Doctor Strange, Dormammu if you want to affiliate him with that. Who else? Who else was after that? Deadpool and Strife. I think Strife's native. With the Eternals, I'm not sure if Athena was native or not. Madeline was native. Oh man. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. But yeah, they didn't give us a list, so maybe this thing works on everybody. I mean, it says selector, but then the others were selectors too. So, but maybe they're so far beyond the tier 3 thing that they just don't care as much anymore about throttling those characters. So fine, use it on whoever you want. Which could be a win for not necessarily heavy spenders and long-term veterans, because they probably have every character in the game at tier 3 already or transcended. But in the event that there's this niche character out there that they don't, or a couple of niche characters that they just didn't really feel the need to invest the gold and the resources and shit like that into, this is a win for them in that regard, because they can. But you know, a lot of those players, they understand the game on a level where they get that the more tier 3s that they have, the more awakened characters that they have, that also increases the power level of their roster. And if you're trying to be competitive, you want that. Whereas you may be passing on tier 4s to save materials. You did something similar back in the day when tier 3 was the cat's pajamas, right? You hoarded your tier 3 mats for the viable tier 3s. You built the viable ones and you left the other ones on the wayside. Then you went back and started, you know, just as a thing to do, or because you may not have had the materials or whatever. And that's what's up. That is definitely what's up. So, you know, in the event that you are a long-term veteran and you have that handful of transcended or tier 3s that you might not have gotten to yet, here's sort of a mini win in a way for that. Maybe get you an extra stage of Shadowland out of it if you're still playing and climbing competitively and that sort of thing. or if you're in search of that that CTP selector, they gotta reset Shadowland. They need to reset Shadowland like every so often. They need to reset Shadowland every so often. And I would change the reward table. I would put a premium card in there, or just a random premium card. And I would also have the CTP selectors in there. And I would add the Liberty and the Liberation and all of those other CTPs, the Conquest, all that shit. I wouldn't put a premium card selector in there because one, you would have to limit which premium cards, and then two, yeah, I kind of feel like after a while you'll get the card that you're looking for, even though the RNG sucks. Plus, there needs to be some sort of randomness to and variation in rosters to a degree, and the only way you can do that is really by leaving certain shit random. So it sucks, but you want that premium card, you gotta go get that premium card selector, and that thing is like ridiculously expensive. And yeah, I don't want it that bad. And I still gotta build this Joker and all this here. Like, no, we ain't doing that. And then the fact that they even put that shit in the game. Let me see if I can get to the web shop. How do I get to the web shop from here? There it is. I haven't drawn today. Thought I drew today. Yeah, thought I drew today. All right, just so you know what they think about tier 3s and tier 4s now, or what the game thinks about tier 3s and tier 4s now. This thing right here, they used to sell in a pack, right? And you had to buy this thing 3 times at like $39 a piece. That's like, or $29 a piece, whatever it was. And they gave you the bios and all this other extra shit that's not a part of this. They're giving you this for $20 and you go straight to it, and it's a mega ticket. And the same thing with the Transcendence. Now, I'm not saying you should buy this thing because it's way too easy to build tier 3s and tier 4s, tier 3s and Transcendence. But, you know, this wasn't that long ago when they were doing this. So yeah, always farm. I was kind of interested in this thing. 25,900 crystals. I think with the 10 they're giving us, if that's the case, plus the 10 that I have, that puts me almost at 50,000 crystals, give or take. by the time the anniversary gets here, if I got that kind of crystals, I should be able to situate a lot of things. Now, granted, I'll still need things like cards and whatnot, but like, I think if that's the case, I should probably save every bit of gold I can from now to the anniversary. Aside from tier 4ing my Sentry, because I'm really close to having those gears complete, so it'll just be saving up. I can halt production on null for the time being from now to the anniversary at least, and then snatch this thing here, put it with the 10,000 that they give me and the 10,000 that I have, and save all of my Phoenix feathers, Mcron crystals, and all of that, and get my card straight as far as Pierce and all of that is concerned. I think if I do that, I should be able to pull that off and at least get, at a minimum, 22%. And then I shouldn't have to do anything else. But all they really have in here are the crystal packs. They really don't have any specialized items to speak of. Weekly challenge CTP. This is interesting. I wonder what's in it. Challenge Dimension Chest CTP ×1. Yeah, but which CTPs? If the Transcendence and the Patience are in here, I would say this is a hard skip, to be honest, but the price point is really good. It just depends on what's in it. That would be my only concern. Weekly 1,000 tier 4 materials. So what's the breakdown? $10 for 500 crystals, a selector, 1,000 tier 4 material, and then a Book of Ashanti selector and 1,000,000 gold. So my assumption is you get to select one of the 3 tier 4 materials and you get 1,000 of them. So you would have to buy this thing 3 times really. So that's $30. And 1,500 crystals, 3,000,000 gold, and 3 books. So take that how you will. If you only need a few materials to push and you're trying to accelerate that process and you only need to buy this thing once, I would say it's probably a good buy. Other than that, I would say, you know, judge the situation based on your need. I definitely would not be trying to use it to roll gears, because you could easily buy this thing 3, 4, or 5 times, depending on how many times they let you buy it, and get absolutely rinsed. So yeah, on the rolls, like you get a shitload of times 30, times 20, and then there goes your material, and then you're out of however many dollars. So be aware. You could do the same thing here and the same thing happen. That's why I'm really not a fan of these. And to be honest, for the price point, that's really not that much material or books or any of that stuff. So yeah, I say go earn it. You know, even this is a better price point, but it's still not good. And you're getting, yeah, this is horrible. This is horrible. 1,100 crystals, 420 life seed, 950 carbo, 800 soul of the foul team when you were getting like 3,000 and 2,200. Yeah. So I never really buy any of these. I've never really even done the relay packs or any of that stuff. I'm just not built that way. I'll go after the cheap stuff and the cheap stuff that actually makes sense to buy, like the Stark Stash. Everyone should be buying that if you don't know. If you are a any kind of spender on any level, hell, if you're free to play, I recommend it. If you don't buy nothing else, buy that Stark Stash. It's just the cat's fucking pajamas, man. But back to the game. Yeah, this is the new one. Tier 4 pack. You gotta buy this thing 3 times. It lasts 21 days. Yeah, it lasts 21 days. And it gets you so far up a pity timer for a tier 4 and tier 3. Instantly get 500 crystals. Tier 2 character. So you instantly get the tier 2 selector, Essence of Dimension, Titan component packs, CCF for 21 days, premium growth material chest. So you get this thing here for 21 days. That's actually dope. Depends on how much material is in it though. That looks like Soul of the Foul Team and Life Seed and Carbo in there. So tier 3 advancement ticket when logging in with own character for 20 days. So you get 3 tier 3s out of this for the 3 times that you buy it. Tier 4 advancement effect after logging in for 57 days. So that's where the 3 times comes in at, right? Because you have to log in for 57 days with this. Well, the only way to do that is to repurchase this thing. Then you'll be at 22 days, and then you repurchase it again. You'll be at 60 something days. Well, that's 3 tier 3 characters, 600 EOD, 1,500 crystals, 600 CCF and TCP, and 3 tier 3 characters, 3 tier 2 characters, and 1 tier 4. So judge that how you will. If you're building your roster for, what is this, 80 and 40, so that's 120 plus tax. It's not that horrible, because I used to buy the other one, not a lot, but I bought it like, I think completely 2, maybe 3 times, and it was pretty good. The tier 2 selector that they had in there worked on premium characters. So that was a big plus. So that's something to be taken into account, right? Because it foregoes the need for you to have the bios of the character and that sort of thing. I used it on my Carnage. I used it on my Professor X. I used it on there's a few more characters that are premium. I think Luna. And I really wasn't even playing with Luna until I got her Summer Lilac uniform, so that gives you an idea of the time frame. But yeah, really, really good purchase. I think it gives the most value at the cheapest price for a roster that is trying to build. I know 120 plus tax really isn't a cheap price, but you also have to think that that's spread out over the course of 3 months. That's a quarter. So that ain't that bad. And throughout the course of that quarter, you're guaranteed 3 premium tier 2 characters. So the way it works is I think you actually have to have the character unlocked. But once you have the character unlocked, you can just bypass all of the bullshit. Now, I'm not sure about this daily tier 4 support upgrade. For the tier 3, it worked. For this, they may have changed it. So I kind of want to get it so I can test it and see if it still works. I do have, I think, well, shit, I gotta get the fucking crystals to unlock her, and then I can check it. But I don't want to sink 4,000 crystals in the fucking Negasonic. But if it works on a Crystal Wall character, then odds are it'll work on a premium as well. It's kind of the rule of thumb. And I know the old one worked on both because, like I said, Carnage, Luna, Professor X. I think I also used one on Sabretooth, I think. So had to figure out a way to do it. And I was not gonna do the biosub thing. Because that would have been unpredictably more expensive at the time. Whereas with this, I know exactly what I'm getting and exactly what the cost is, and I can spread it out over a period of time. So that is also the caveat. Now you also have to be okay with not having access to a tier 4 character for 3 months. But the flip side is you get to build a whole nother tier 4 character that you would regularly be able to build in that time frame, plus be halfway to building another tier 4 with the materials that you get, or at least part of the way, plus when it's all said and done, have a fresh, new, shiny, pick of the litter tier 4 thoroughbred, if you will. I don't think that's a bad trade-off. Plus a litany of other premium characters that you would now be able to take to tier 3 or tier 4, depending on, you know, choice, roster, proclivities, what have you. Characters that you probably wouldn't otherwise have access to. And that has to be a huge, huge plus. I'm gonna let a few more of these run, and then I'm gonna crank up some World Boss and run my other dailies. Alliance Battle, probably do some more GBR. Definitely. You know what? I can do something else. I can dead this, and after I did this right here, let's see. Yeah, we're done with this. So we can flip it to go ahead and get that Mythic Rift out of the way. And I've already run 2 other rifts, so that's actually a plus. So this is my 3rd rift today. Also, for any new players, if you're looking for an alliance to join, I know mine isn't level 30 yet, but we are open and taking members. The only criteria it really is that you play. You don't have to be high level, you don't have to be any of that. Just play the game. Log in, do your check-in, donate if you can. If you can't because you're a new player and you're saving gold, at least at the bare minimum, do the check-in and donate your alliance tokens. That is the only criteria. If you can donate gold to help get us to 30, that would be dope. But yeah. Still working on that store as well, so that's why the alliance mementos are so important. And I need to start playing Alliance Battle more. Then I'm probably gonna get rid of a few alliance members that I don't think really are playing the game anymore. Well, a couple of them I know that aren't, but they've just been in the alliance chilling. I just haven't seen a need to eliminate them because, you know, we got plenty of spots. But if it comes to that point, we are good with that. They both know how to reach out to me. One of them is actually the guy that started the alliance. So, but the last time I talked to him, he was telling me basically he had, moved on to other things. So, not really playing anymore. I think he uninstalled and all of that jazz. So, I did at the time make it understood that, barring any that his spot would always be solid. So that's the reason I haven't really got him up out of there. But dude literally hasn't logged in years. So, and he was doing videos on some other game for a while, but I haven't seen him even posting really. So maybe he moved on to other stuff, who knows. Hope all is well. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. What's going on, Note? Oh, wow. Okay, let me get back to the game right quick. There we go. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. But where was I? Matter of fact, we back. So let's take care of that. And what the hell? Yeah. But we. Oh, okay. Cool. Just checking.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get the binoculars out in time.
Look, well, let's not stand on ceremony, mate.
Let's get that out of there. All right. I'm just forgetting all types of shit tonight. I need to do this more so I stay on my game. That's what it is. I'm fucking up because I'm slipping. And I'm slipping because I'm fucking up. So I'm gonna put this question to you, Nude. Who do you plan on picking with the tier 4 selector? You can give me 3 answers. If it's a true selector, meaning anybody, or the tier 4 selector, yeah. So meaning anybody with the exception of tier 3 natives, right? Limited meaning the Avengers, right? Maybe Spidey, maybe a few more in there, the 800 CCF variety. Or the third answer would be, yeah, the limited would be like the Avengers, Spidey, the first handful of tier 4s, the first 8 or 10 or so. And then the other answer would be of the 800 CCF tier 4s that you don't have. So wide open, kind of in the middle, and limited. Avengers, first 10, every 800 CCF, or anybody else as far as like native tier 2, it can go to tier 4. So that includes all of the Madeline Pryors and Thanoses and all of them guys. For me, of the ones that I don't have, for the wide open 800 CCF, I would probably have to say Gwenpool, because she covers a day of ABX for me. Of the first handful, Avengers, you know, them sorts. You know, maybe Thor, because I need a universal like I need a universal alien. I need a universal alien. I need a universal villain. If I have a universal alien villain, that would be great. Because then that would cover all of that shit. But you know, for the native tier 2s, if you're throwing them in there, I could throw Thor in the mix. I could throw not Thor, Odin in the mix, but I would rather have Thor anyway in that case, because the damage output I think is kind of similar between the two, and Odin doesn't have as much movement in his kit as Thor does, so he'll be better against Surtur, just from not getting hit as much and being easier to play and all of that stuff. So native tier 2. Shit. I have Thanos already at tier 4. I have Jean already at tier 4. I don't have Adam Warlock at tier 4. And he's still kind of useful. Under certain restrictions and ban conditions and shit like that. Who else? Oh, I could do Scarlet tier 4. I know she's old. I know all of this shit. But the thing is, I don't have anybody to cover that day in ABX. And she'd be perfect for it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'd be with it. It'd probably be Thor, Gwenpool, and quite possibly Scarlet. I could see Black Widow as an outside shot as well. In place of somebody like Gwenpool. But I love Gwenpool's kit. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, she's a fun character to play. But yeah, she's a fun character to play. She like I said earlier, has the fourth wall break. I think I call it the third wall break or some shit. Sitting up here tripping. But yeah, she does that old shit and has some motion, rides around on a motorcycle, gets big. Like, she's got a lot of different fun little mechanics in her kit. Opens up a comic book, lays it down, jumps out of it, motherfucker. Like, That's fly. That's live right there. Kind of reminds me of Slapstick in a way. Remember him? Now, if only they could come up with something as fun for Deadpool. But, you know, he's good where he is right now. He's in the meta. Um, in PvP at least, and he's pretty solidly decent in his handsome pool uniform, but I don't think it's as good as his PvP uniform. Like they really could have went a few steps further with handsome pool. I think if the handsome pool uniform was on the same level as the Deadpool 3, it would really be good. If it was on the same level in PvP or PvE as the Wolverine, Deadpool Wolverine uniform, if it was as good as that, I think we'd feel a lot better about Deadpool, right? Because even on them days where you really can't get it in with him in PvP, or if he ever falls out of the meta there, you can always have some fun with him in PvE. That's why I like those situational uniform setups, whether it be with one uniform or two. You know, I can always flip the script with the character, take him over here, and, you know, look at Jean. She's a prime example. She dominated the scene in PvP for so long. Now she's not really used much there anymore, and not so much in the meta anymore, and all of this stuff. Not so dominant. What did a lot of players do? Slapped a rage on her and took her in the GBR and giving Dormammu the business. Gave him the whole franchise. No tag, just the franchise. And give him no bagel, no English muffin, no breakfast, no coffee, no nothing. Just a business and a franchise on the side. But yeah. I don't know. I gotta really see who's gonna be in there. And I don't know. I wouldn't mind if this whole tier 3 and transcended thing wasn't so well, we got a list and you can only choose these characters, because quite honestly, we're so far beyond that point where that should even be a thing anymore. And they need to open that shit up, especially if people are talking tier 5 and all of this shit. Like, okay, well, fine. Give me the tier 3s then. And that's also why I said If that's the case, then I think with the 10-year anniversary, they should reduce the cost of tier threes to one. One mat per row of each class. And they kind of already have it built in already, because you're still gonna need to use those tier 3 mats for other shit anyway. As far as building tier 4s, rolling their gears, and all of that shit, that costs tier 3 mats. So or it's not rolling the gears, it's something to do with certain uniforms or some shit, because I know the skills are life seed. But I could have swore there was some aspect of the tier 3 or the tier 4 process that required you to use tier 3 material. But at any rate, looks like tier 5 is probably coming sooner rather than later. How much time we got left? Should be close. Yeah, we got 3 minutes. Mm-mm. See, and I keep getting these damn, well, let me stop because I need another one. But I keep getting CCPs of Conquest. I think one of them I got out of Selector that I picked up, but this other one I got out of a booty box. Another one I got out of some old other shit. Another booty box or the 28-day check-in or some shit like that. I'm like, I am loving getting these conquests, man. I'm about to be on my 3rd mighty. So that's 6 conquests total. That is not bad, bro. I'm currently sitting on 5 total, 2 of which are equipped. As Mighty Conquest, of course, on I have 1 on Null and I have 1 on Sentry. Both are level 80 tier 3. I put that thing on Null at 70 tier 3 and dude was catching bodies. So just a testament to how stupid Null is. But yeah, level 80, he's even better. Can't wait to get that guy to tier 4. And we're almost there with Sentry. So we're gonna push for him before the anniversary. Then we're gonna wait and sit on our materials to see who the tier 4 is gonna be. Actually, if we're building Null, we kind of don't have to wait. If it's a selector, it's really not gonna matter. And then with the mats I get, I can use that to get Null out of the way. And then go from there. Now, with the daily tier 4 upgrade support, I wonder who all is on that list. Also, thing is, if I tier 4 Sentry before, if I tier 4 Null before I can acquire and complete that thing, then I'll have to wait until the next native tier 4. So that's kind of the drawback. Okay. 39 1-stars. Wow, from a mythic rift. That is such a fucking rip. Such a rip. Got a couple of days on 150 energy. What is this, World Boss? Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't even feel like doing this. Yeah. We'll do something we can push. Energy projection, huh? So that is only this guy. No wonder this is slow boogie. Yeah, no wonder this is slow boogie. I got one level I can climb. Well, gotta do it one at a time. So I need to just make a list and go down it. Be more diligent about climbing. Got out the way just in time. Should have been sniping in between though. Get back down in the middle. Wow. Couldn't get the switch in time. I should have switched earlier. Right? Forgot who I was fighting with. Oh, I got sniped. How did I get sniped? Wow. Yeah. It's not the damage, it's the damage reduction. I really need to have Dazzler coming out first. A little added layer of protection. Yeah, I should have done that rotation the other way. Cast the 6 first, plus he got out of the damage. I was gonna say, where you at, bro? Oh, switch. Wow, they got me with the striker. That shit kept me from fucking switching. I think Polaris tried to jump out and strike for him. Yep, she just did it. That's why it wouldn't let me switch. I don't think Dazzler strikes for him. Okay, he's sticking around to absorb all of that damage this time. He was late with that. Oh, there we go with this shit again. Okay, give him the 8. Ooh. All right. Switch out the way early. All right. Rock out. Oh, nice. And the book selector. Yeah, that's it for this one. What team was I doing this with? Spectrum. Hmm. The hell am I gonna use for support? Cyclops? Yep. I'll rock that. See if Sharon can do something. Oh, she can definitely make it shake. Good old Sharon Rogers. I be damned. She still gets it done. Wow. Got knocked out of my tier 3. Did a little bit of that. Okay. That should have been enough damage accumulated right there. I don't understand that. I'm Cyclops. Switch. Okay. Hmm. Right? Hmm. Too bad I couldn't accumulate that as damage. But I could get all of that though. And a piece of that too. Don't want none of that though. Wow. Tried to get the switch. Stopped it at 8 bars. Got the second part though. I tried to get off on him. Right? Good switch. Got a $1.19 left. Oh, I gotta get off on him. Wow. He gonna catch me slipping. Jumped right into that shit with the last couple of bars left. I can get him though. Well, damn, if Sharon can get him, really makes me wonder if Odin can get him. And maybe a lot easier too. Right? I missed my tier 3. All this extracurricular nonsense, man. Wow. Tried to stop me. Right? know why they didn't take him down more bars than that, but ooh. Hmm. Wow, he did that shit and I was in an iframe. Good snipe. Good snipe. Let's go. Let's go. Get him out of here, Odin. With ease. $140 left on the clock. Oh. Oh. Is that another? Damn, son. Say, and another book too. Yo. And 62 life seed. And double up on the carbo. Yeah, I will take it. That is a damn that's what you call a haul right there. Let's go 10th anniversary around the corner. Can't wait, man. Who you telling, rulers? Man, say crystals are on deck with more on the way. We got a couple of these joints right here, but we stacking. No, 10 years, 10,000 crystals. And then they gonna give me 10,000. So hey, I hope, man, say, I hope there is a CTP of Conquest in here because we just got this thing, and I need another one to go with it to make my third CTP of Conquest, or fourth. Shit, I forgot I had this one chilling. That's why I was tripping. So my bad. My fourth mighty CTP of Conquest. I have one on Null and one on Sentry already. So I need to get one on my Thanos, which is why I need to build a universal alien for PvE that can take over for that day, and then a universal villain who can also take over for that day. And the only character where I'll get that all in one is Loki. Otherwise, I would have to build two different characters, and the other character will still probably also be Loki. So I really wish I had another option. I could build Black Bolt for the universal villain and just use him. And then build somebody like Thor, or if they give the tier 4 thing, maybe use it on this guy, because I still got to do the gears. I just did the level, so I'm really not too much tripping on that. But if I want the full max value, it'll be somebody else. Alternatively, Scarlet Witch would also fit the mold. But I think I already have a CTP on this guy. No, I don't. Okay, took it off. And he did that with a damn obelisk already. So yeah, that's kind of where the confusion lies for me. I would get a lot of value out of using it on Black Widow, I feel. But I'd have to figure out where I could use her. I do have her 14% 4-star Giga Dodge artifact. So, you know, there's an option. If Crescent winds up being available on there, she would also be an option. Trying to think. I haven't started on her gears yet, so it just depends, bro. It just depends. Like, there are a lot of options available. But the main thing I need to lock down would be a universal alien slash villain. So, yep. Yep. And there aren't very many of those out there that are like really high level for PvE. I'm not gonna build Null for PvE. Not gonna build not gonna build Null for PvE. I want to switch Thanos over to PvP. So that pretty much leaves Thor, Loki, Odin, Black Bolt. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's a short list, bro. That's a short list. And I wouldn't be upset with a tier 4 Thor at all. Let's see what we get out of here, man. A regen. Okay, I can go for a regen. I can't go for a regen, actually. But, you know. Like, I got these things in the event that if they ever make of them good, I'll at least have one already. They're probably never going to do anything with the regen. They're probably never going to do anything with the transcendence and the patience either. They haven't in all this time, so. And then alternatively, future-proofing my roster with something like a tier 4 Fury. Okay, we got Spectrum out of the way, so we don't gotta use her no more. Now we just gotta get that 100-second clear out of the way. Wait a minute. Clear 5 times. Clear 3 times with Spectrum. Okay, I gotta clear 5 times with Spectrum. So say, I thought I just did that shit. So I gotta do that 2 more times. Well, can't suppose I'll hit every time. I wish I could. Yeah. But that is a nice little starter pack, especially for returning players. 10,000 crystals, bro. I missed the 1 and the 2 altogether. Um, yep, before it even get ugly. But for returning players, a 10,000 or new players, a 10,000 crystal starter pack, bro. That is game changing for them. Like completely. Ooh, I got Wong with the fleet feet. Got in there and whoa. They robbed me on that one though. Won't get you this time though. Okay. Got myself another booty box. Hopefully there's something nice in it. And we're done with that. Does carry the supervillain tag, doesn't she? Let's see, what did they tag Elektra as? A hero? Yep, superhero. Okay, so I need to do her, yeah. Sure, why not? Oh, that's why they're not there. Just got excluded from the content. Now you are included in the content. And oh yeah, Valkyrie. Let's go. And potential. Where is my girl? Oh, it's the gears. It's the gears. I don't think I got enough gold for this. Oh, one on 25 that's love right there. 3, 4, 21. Oh, that hurt. 14, that kind of hurt. 18, that one wasn't so good. 2, 15, come on, go back down. 20, oh shit. 17, 29, Jesus fucking Christ. 2, 20, golly. 17. At least that one was just 3. Okay, so we need the mats. But she's ready now, so she should be on the list here now. Because tier 2s do appear here. Huh. That is actually wild. When you filter by potential, she doesn't appear. That's fucking crazy. I wonder if they're gonna, well, no, they're not, because she's not tier 3, so there's no potential to be had. But at least I have her on the team now, so. But at tier 3, she'll be able to access the content. That's actually better for the old Ancient One uniform than the new Ancient One uniform. They actually decreased the duration of that thing, though, just to last longer. Oh, he's upset. Wait for it. Gonna try to hold out. Thank you. Thank you for the save, Ultron. Got a little bit too greedy right there. May have just unclapped yourself. Yeah, I didn't get far enough out, and I did the wrong thing. Wow. Just probably, yep. Well, she might have enough to finish. Oh, and then the lingering. Wow. This dude got all the way up against the wall. You fucking cheapskate. The cheapest of the skate. You cheeseburger, you. Now we'll take it. Oh, you think that's cute. Hmm. How did she get clapped? That's what I want to know. He cutscene. He didn't do an attack. Hmm. I'm definitely watching that replay. In super slow motion. Okay, he got off something else right there too in the middle of the. Oh. All of this shit over there. Wow. I can never dodge that fucking shit. Damage block every time. Storm, handle your own business then. No switch needed. Even though you do need an extra roller skater too. Because apparently flying is slower than walking. What the hell? Let's see. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I thought Rogue was physical. It's okay. I got plenty of those, so no big deal. All right. Easy pickings. Okay. Got that locked up. Let's go see what was in this booty box. Nothing? Okay, so we can start working on those books. Meanwhile, we got Electra getting ready to get tier 3. So we'll wait a couple of days on the materials for her. In the meantime, we'll go pick up everything else. And I got a few more these to get. Honestly, I don't even know why this one is on here. Yeah, that needs to come off for the next time. It's a waste of energy. They don't give feathers. They don't give bios for the Epic Quest characters, which is useful. Stacking a shitload of bios and using those to build other characters with. Okay. We'll figure out which level that is later and we'll take it off the list. Is there anything else that I need to do? Yep, I already did Alliance Battle and ABX. And this would just be trying for another CTP really at this point. Or doing carries. I suppose I could see if anybody needed some. You never know. You'll run across weird teams like these. Didn't make absolutely no sense. Like at least Darth has the correct lead, but the support isn't there. They both got good leaderships, but they don't have the support. But they definitely have the damage, so I guess it doesn't matter. At least Darth does. Gotta watch this. I definitely gotta see what this dude is running. I can definitely say Fabian needed the carry. But yeah, Darth Lorick. Okay. Nice icon. Okay. He has a hell of a deck.
Pause.
That just didn't even sound right. Okay. Shitload of fucking energy attack. What was that 115? 119, almost 120. But no damage procs, no HP procs, no energy attack, none of that stuff. Swords are kind of, so they're okay. They're okay. Not too dissimilar from what I got going on. Just got a shitload of more Pierce and mainly that, really. A little bit more energy attack. Really wasn't paying attention to his crit, but I do have that energy attack proc over him. So it was more balanced than what I thought it would be from an account that has that much more Pierce than me. So pretty good battle. Pretty good battle. Of course, he was one support down, so there is that. Then we got a Rogue with a Fury Dazzler. I think old boy got kicked. But may just be a slow load. And he's loading slowly. Or it's just taking a long time to kick him. Looks like it just took a while to kick him. Oh, no, he actually got in. Cool. Hey, let me not botch the rotation this time. Just that road wrecking like that. I got blown out on that one. Yeah, we'll get one or two more. And then I think we're going to call it a stream. Maybe go out to some story fragment forming, something like that. Right? Get out of the way of the bullshit. Hmm. Oh, wow. I actually crashed. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and call it then. Let me check on one thing right quick before I go. You don't let me pick that thing up? All right, all right. Let's see here. Pass, got team up collection, special pass, challenges. All right. We'll see if we can get there. Attempt to team up collection enhances. So that's what the whole awakening this guy was about. Yep, gotta get them mats, baby. Gotta get them mats. And so we're gonna go ahead and call it. And been a pleasure hanging out with y'all once again. Y'all like, comment, share, sub, all of that jazz. We'll be back at y'all with another video later on in the week, or possibly the weekend, just depending on how things go. Yeah, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.